I'm David Reed, and this is The Engine Room. Welcome, everyone. This is another episode of The Engine Room, and today I have a very special guest, Lellany, who is, from my experience, one of the first women in my career that I met out in the sales world, and I've always been very impressed with her, so I really wanted to share an experience of all of you getting to know her and learn about her journey in Varco into NOV. And so, welcome, Lellany.
Well, thank you, David. I feel like a movie star.
Well, you are like a movie star.
Yeah.
Your story is interesting too. We have a lot of women now compared to when we started.
Yes.
And we also have a more diverse workforce than we had. We could do better at that too. But I think you and Edwin too, you know, that for me, that was something that was marked when I joined Varco, was they seemed to be more open to various backgrounds than you would see in other companies. I don't know if that was your experience, but they seemed open.
Varco? I think my managers in Houston were open.
Yeah.
I think they gave me the opportunity to go outside.
That's good. So there was an openness, but it sounded like you didn't think it was all that way. There wasn't an openness everywhere.
Well, I don't know. I can't tell how California was or how anybody was, or if there was even any woman that want to go outside, or I don't really know.
You weren't aware of that.
Yeah, I was not aware of that. Maybe they did, but they didn't have the opportunity.
Yeah.
Me being in Houston, I was in contact with the customers all the time. So, and like I said, I was inside sales. That's how I started my career, and I really think that if you wanted to go outside and be successful, that is a place to start.
Yeah. So let me ask you about how did you grow up? Where were you? And
I was born in Cuba.
oh wow, really?
Yes, and due to political issues, my parents left with us. I have 3 brothers, and we moved to Spain.
Wow.
That was on the 1968. Wow. And then we were, my grandparents are both from Spain, so that was an easy move.
It made sense.
Yeah, from Cuba to Spain, because my grandparents were moved there, but they migrated to Cuba back in the 80s, 1980s. So we came to Spain, and we were waiting for the United States to give you an entry pass. It's not like now that you just come and then, you know. So when we came to the United States, we already have a residence.
Okay.
So that's the correct way to do it.
Right.
You know, it's okay to migrate to a country, but you have to do it on the right way.
Yeah.
And so we moved to Puerto Rico.
Okay.
From Spain, we went to Puerto Rico, and then I went to Ohio.
Really?
Yeah, and
that's a bit different.
It was a big difference.
Yeah.
You know, a girl from an island living in a very harsh environment.
Wow.
Yeah.
How old were you then?
I was probably 17, 18, sometime around there. That's when
a young lady.
A young lady, yeah. I went to Lakeland Community College in Ohio, and I got married. And my husband was in a program that moving around. He was a chemical
development
engineer.
program?
Yeah. And so we moved from Ohio to Delaware, back to Ohio, to North Carolina, to Texas in 1 year.
Wow.
And when I came to Texas, I said, "This is it.
I'm done.
I'm done. I don't want to travel anymore."
Yeah.
And so we moved in 1974.
Wow.
To Houston, July 4, 1974. We came to Texas rolling a U-Haul, you know,
Really?
a small U-Haul with everything we have. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Kids yet? No.
No.
So-
Kids didn't happen until 77 and 80. I have 2 kids.
Nice. So anyway, you're telling me different offices.
different offices.
What was the first one you worked in?
I started with Varco in 1977
Wow.
when they were by Hobby Airport,
Wow.
World Trip.
I didn't even know there was a
Yes.
hobby airport.
And we were neighbors through a chain link with Martin Decker.
Really?
Yes. So Martin Decker and Varco had a long relationship.
Both Californian companies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And that was not too far from Hobby Airport. So that was
Telephone Road or something like that? Or?
very close to Telephone Road. Yes. So that was my first started with Varco,
Really? 1977.
1977.
Wow. How old were you? Is that wrong to ask? I don't know.
Well,
Let's not ask
you
that
know,
question. That's not the right question.
You never asked that question,
No, I shouldn't ask that question.
but I don't mind telling you.
Okay.
I was 27 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. How did you find Varco?
How Varco find me?
Did they find you?
Yeah. Well,
Tell
not
us.
necessarily. I'll tell you how it started.
Yeah.
My oil field career started with Reed Tool
Really?
on 1976.
Wow.
Okay, and we have just moved from Ohio. My husband is an engineer, and he got transferred to at that time was Diamond Shamrock.
Yeah.
It is now Oxy
Yeah.
Chemicals, and so I got a job with Reed on the tool joints department.
Really?
You know, I was the one that
You're doing roller cones.
Yeah, yeah. And then I got pregnant with my daughter, and I decided, that was on 1976,
Yeah.
I decided that I didn't want to work anymore, that I was going to be a stay-home mommy.
Yeah. Good plan.
Well, that plan didn't work very well because I didn't like to stay home all the time.
Yeah.
So I decided I was going to do some part-time job, and I started with Kelly Services
Really?
at that time. And they sent me to 2 or 3 jobs, but one of the jobs they sent me was Varco.
Yeah.
And I was there. As a matter of fact, Greg McLaughlin hired me.
Really?
Yes.
He was. That's right. He was original Varco
Yes.
before Pool.
He came from
and-
California.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I started,
Wow.
interesting, huh?
Yeah.
So I started part-time, and being me, I started changing things around. You know, at that time, inventory was done manually, and
Oh, yeah.
you know, you had cards that every day you took all the sales, and then you have to go and take it down with the Rolodex. And anyway, I started making changes, and I was just a temporary.
And what would the office be? Was it a service office or was it a spare parts? or
It was
sales?
sales service. It was a lot of service being done there. Okay, it was just
How many people?
maybe 10,
Yeah.
15.
Yeah.
Gerald Fox was there. Jerry Gill was there.
How funny. Would Jerry have just started by then? Was
Oh no.
He's been
Jerry
around
started
since
a long time ago.
1842, I believe.
Yes.
Something
Yeah,
like
I don't know when he started, but yeah. But
was
anyway,
he was
I
always
was there for 3 months, and they said, no, we wanted to keep you. No, I just wanted temporary, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, I accepted the job, and that was my beginning with Varco.
Wow.
Then, you know, I went
So
into,
no roughnecks yet, just handling tools,
it was
spinners.
handling tools. It was the famous 6500 Kelly spinners.
There you go.
It was the, I believe at that time was the PS5.
Wow. I don't even know what a PS5 is. I assume
PS12.
it's a
PS12.
12. So it was a slip. It was an air
It was
slip.
a slip, yes.
Air slips?
Yeah, it was a
Which
big
was-
slip.
New mechanization.
Yeah, it was the beginning of Varco starting to get into the, and was you there when the 6500 Kelly spinner was there?
In the repair shop, I worked with 65s and 55s. Yeah, so that was they came in for repair, and that's what I
Yeah, it
learned
was a
about them.
very tool that required a lot of calibration.
Yes.
a tool that leather was replaced by the 6600 Kelly spinner.
Yeah.
Anyway, I used to go to the shop. I was in inside sales.
Yeah.
But when I have time, I used to go to the shop and watch how they calibrated the tools and watch how they did. Edwin Players was in there.
He was in the shop at that time?
Yes. Edwin and I started within 2 weeks, a month from each other.
We're definitely having Edwin come in as well. It's
Yeah.
going to be awesome.
So I used to go to the shop and I used to watch how they repair the tools, how they take things out. 6500 require a lot of shims. Calibration was
Yes.
very, very precise.
I remember in our shop, one guy could make it work.
When it worked, but when it didn't, it didn't.
It was very finicky.
Yeah. And what I was doing is I was learning the operation of the tool, but I also was learning the parts. What parts go where?
Yeah, which is huge when you're on the phone with someone.
Exactly,
To know what
because
they're talking
at
about.
that time when somebody called was somebody from the rig,
Yeah.
and they will not give you a part number. They will say, I need that little blah, 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 that goes between here and there.
Yeah.
And
You had to know what it
you
was.
have to know what he was talking about.
Yeah. So you became a mechanical engineer very quickly.
Yeah, well, the closest I've been to a mechanical engineer is being married to one.
Oh, so you knew the illness. You just
Yeah.
didn't have it.
Actually, he's a chemical engineer.
Okay,
But
yeah.
but I knew that in order to be successful, in order to learn, in order to, because I had a goal. I know what I wanted to do. I wanted to go outside.
Yeah.
But in order to go outside, being a woman, I knew I have to know what I was talking about.
Right. It would be a harder barrier for you.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
people wouldn't be open to the idea. Was there many women outside sales at the time?
I was the first one. I was the first woman that went outside with Varco.
Wow.
I have some good mentors, but they were all men.
Yeah.
I work pretty much my whole life with men.
Man, yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember it would have been Jerry, I guess, or others, but I remember Jerry was, even with me years later, he was always a tough mentor, There wasn't any light mentorship. It was like, it was sink or swim, and, they really wanted you to know your stuff.
Yep, yep.
It was very important.
Speaking of Jerry, Jerry was a very tough man that liked to intimidate.
He really did.
But down
he was
deep,
gentle, really.
he was a very gentle man.
He really was. Isn't that
And
funny?
Yes, but he was very tough.
He was tough.
And if he perceives you as you are afraid of me, I am going to play with you.
No, that's right. My first exposure, he was shouting at me in Orange in my cube, and I stood up and shouted back at him. And everyone in Orange was traumatized. What happened? I'm like, but we became friends after
Yes.
that because I wasn't afraid of him.
Yeah, and Jerry was always, everybody was afraid of Jerry.
That's right.
And to a certain extent, I was. I don't know that I was afraid. I think I have a lot of respect for him, and I have seen him in action, and I know how mad he could get, and his vocabulary wasn't the best either.
No, but he cared is why.
But he cares. But one time I was having troubles understanding the power supply, the open and closed system.
Yeah.
Okay, because we used to sell tools that was open center.
Yeah.
We used to sell tools that were closed center.
Right.
So you have to know
What's the difference?
what the difference.
Yeah.
And I was having troubles understanding that. And Jerry drew it in a piece of paper, and he said, "Come in, I'm going to show you how to do it right quick." And he said, "Think of your house. The water in your house. When you open a faucet, the water is right there.
Yeah.
So that's a closed center.
Yeah.
Because the water is right there.
Yeah.
You open it, it come out. Otherwise, it will be going around in circle." And that little drawing that he did, that I just threw away about 3 weeks ago when I was cleaning my desk at the house, made me understand very fast what was a closed center, what was that. And Jerry did that for me. He talked to me in terms that I understand.
He was an educator.
Because I'm not an engineer.
Yeah.
But and I sold many tools.
Yeah.
But I always knew enough to talk intelligent.
Yeah.
And then after that, I knew when to back out and tell the customer, I'm out of my knowledge now. I have to bring somebody that does that for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you get to travel much of the world as part of your career?
Oh my goodness, yes.
All the time?
South
just
America, all
So
the
no-
time. Mexico was really my main territory.
Yeah.
However, I have been to Peru, I have been to Costa Rica, I have been to Quito. But
Nice.
South America was my
Your specialty?
specialty. Mexico was my specialty.
Yeah.
Many times in Mexico.
Yeah. Sold a lot of product in there.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah, all the time.
We sold the first PS-21,
Yeah.
not the first of Arco, but
Yeah. First to them, yeah.
first to Mexico.
Yeah.
Went to Holland, took my agent with me.
Really?
And he gave us a purchase order right then and there.
Really?
Yeah, for Pemex.
That's the old days.
Yeah, that was the old days.
Yeah. When even at OTC you might get a purchase order.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because you went through the 80s, you experienced
Oh yes,
all that.
oh yes. It was so much different before and after. I felt like you built a lot more relationship. Sales is relationship.
Yes.
I could sell a cup and still get business because there is a trust and because there is relationship built. And you don't build a relationship in one day or two, or it takes you a while.
Yeah. But once
build.
it's there, it's for the rest of your career.
Trust and relationship is what make sale. Of course, you have to have a good product.
Right.
You can,
Yeah. If your product fails, there's no trust.
Yeah, if your
Yeah.
product is good and there is a trust, you got the advantage over your competitor
Yeah.
because they trust you. They know you're going to do what you say you're going to do.
And you enjoyed your career? Has it been enjoyable?
I enjoy so much that I just retired last year.
Yeah, finally, yeah. But you enjoyed
Lately,
all
I
of it.
decided, yes. I had it was a fun career, but at the same time was a career that demand time,
Yeah.
effort, I tell you the only regret I have about my career, I was going to have a grandchild, okay? But I had to go to Mexico to a meeting. And that grandchild was not supposed to arrive until a week later. So I said, okay, I'll go and I'll come back. And I left on a Monday morning.
Yeah.
And when I got to Ciudad del Carmen, I got the call that my first grandchild was being born. I tried to come back, and at that time, there was not direct flight. You have to fly Ciudad del Carmen to Mexico City. So on the same plane that I arrived, I tried to come back. We got to Mexico City, and I couldn't make a connection.
How long did it take?
The following day.
Yeah, but still, you weren't there.
But I wasn't there. And
That's tough.
And that was tough. That was very tough. And sometimes I wonder, was it worth it?
Yeah.
Because I missed
An important
something
moment.
that I can never get it back. So that's really my only regret. Overall, I had a real good career. I have really good mentors. I have fantastic customers that has become friends.
Yeah.
Some of my agents have become family members. I mean, that's how close we got.
Yeah.
They came to my kid's wedding. I went to their kid's wedding. Their wife was here with me, So when I went to Mexico, we did things as a family. It was a wonderful career. Will I do it over again? Yes, in a minute.
That's great.
in a minute. Barco was good to me. I have no complaints.
Good.
And I keep saying Barco because really,
That was the most of your career. Yeah.
yes, I really never worked for NOV.
Yeah.
When NOV took over, I left.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but National was my biggest customer at one time.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes.
That's funny. You start with Reed Hycalog, National's your biggest customer, Martin Decker's your neighbor.
My neighbor, they all are. Idaco,
They all
Continental
became...
Insco.
Well, and I think something that not everyone will know now, but in the old days, all these brands we have who were competitors, I know in Benny's words, he'd always say Martin Decker is a competitor because they take my customers' money. So they may not make the same thing as me, but I want the money.
Well,
But still, everyone traveled together and worked as a team, strangely enough.
look at BJ.
Yeah,
BJ was number one competitor.
yeah. And then they became you. Isn't that wild?
You know, you mentioned that. It's funny how we salespeople sometimes sit on the lobby. At that time, it was a different kind of sales. You went to the lobby and you had an appointment with a customer, and there is a rig that it was being built, and you want to get the piece of the equipment. So we all, the mayors were always together, you know.
Yeah.
It was one after the other, you know. So we sit down in the lobby and we talk about the project, and of course we didn't talk about pricing or what you're
Right.
going to do, but you learn a lot.
And in countries where, you know, you all learn how to travel together sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
and because it was safer that way, it was better that way, you know, to share and work together. Something,
You know, I sat next to, I forgot the gentleman's name right now, but he was the president for Tesco.
Okay.
Tesco,
I
they
remember
do top drive. They build top drive.
Yeah.
And I was going to Mexico to compete in a bid against him.
Yeah. But you travel together.
But we traveled together and we talk about the project, and you know, they did a lot of rentals.
That's right.
At that time, we wanted to
You wanted to sell.
to get into the rental business.
Oh, okay. So you were head to head competing on a rental
I was
job.
on the same, head to head.
Yeah. It's funny how that works. It's a small oil field. That's the thing you learn when you travel.
Well, and the thing you have to understand is that we are all friends.
Yeah.
You may be my competitor, but you are also my friend.
Yes.
And so intentionally, I'm not going to do anything that I can hurt you personally.
Right.
I'm going to try to do whatever I can to take the order away from you,
Right.
but you're still my friend. And I don't know if it's that way anymore or not, but you know, we congratulate each other when
Even if it hurt.
even if it hurt, and
Yeah.
sometimes it hurt.
It does,
you know,
yeah.
because sometimes you think you really was going to get the order, and then at the end you didn't, and what happened there?
Yeah,
You know, you always wonder. The first order you lose is always the harder
Yeah.
because you take it too hard.
Yes. And you learn every
And you
time
learn,
you lose.
yeah.
You go back and work out how did that happen and how do I make sure it doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. Yeah.
But you know, being a woman sometimes opened the doors for me in places that a man was having troubles getting. Yes, there was difficulties at first, you know. When,
Sometimes there's a barrier.
yeah, sometimes a barrier, sometimes it's a stereotype,
Yeah.
sometimes it is.
Sometimes negative, I'm sure. Sometimes positive. Yeah.
But the thing is, you have to understand and you have to realize what are they doing and why are they doing it.
Yeah.
When I went outside sales, it was a lot of the good old boys.
Yeah. Everything back in the day. Yeah.
It was back in the days where, you know, lunches were 3 hours and
There was alcohol in the offices.
there were alcohol in the offices. The customer drank until sometimes you don't know how he drank.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, how he got back
Yeah. Yeah.
to the
It was-
office.
It was wild.
It was wild. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was wild. Did I drink?
I'm not asking that.
No,
but
no.
yeah.
I said, did I drink with them?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
no, because I always wanted to be
professional.
on my senses. I wanted to be sharp.
Yeah.
I wanted to be, I may have a drink on a dinner,
Right.
but after that, I will switch to Coke with a lime
Yeah. So it might be a drink. It looks like it might be a drink,
drink.
but it's not.
Because as long as you have something in your hands, they're not going to bother you,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, and
smart.
never compromise, never ever compromise your morals,
Yes.
your values.
That's good.
Is you know, there is two things. You have to always separate your business and your personal.
Yeah.
When you mix it together, you are in trouble because you lose the respect. You lose the, you know, you got to separate it. There is no way. I don't want to get into details, but you always have to be sharp.
Yeah.
You always have to be in control of yourself.
Yeah.
And never, ever, and I'm repeating this because never, never, ever compromise.
That's right. That's good. I actually, one of the things I loved with Varco was they had really strong principles, and they supported you in principles, which I really liked.
Oh, they did. Benny was I mean, you know, Benny Reinhold, George, Maury Jakes. I mean,
Yeah.
they were all very supportive, very supportive.
Very, very, very moral, and wanted you to do the right thing always.
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah.
I really, they differentiated when I came. That's the one thing I liked was they were so strong in an oil field that was pretty gray. You know, there was a lot of people who thought it was okay to do a lot of things, but not in Varco. You know,
Yeah. Well, you know.
things happened all the time.
Things happen all the time. Sales sometimes give you the opportunity to do a lot of things. You know, you travel the world, you are in a different country all by yourself. You think things are not going to get back to Houston or to wherever you live. Wrong.
Yeah. Well, and it affects you. It affects you as a human being, and I think they had a lot of strong things that were not normal. I know for the oil field. And I liked that. Certainly in the core of the management. Didn't mean there wasn't things happening in the company, but it meant that when you chose to stand for something, they would support you,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
which I liked. I did that really early, and it made me like the company more,
Yeah.
knowing you were supported from the top.
Oh, yeah.
Because people along the way would be like, no, don't. You don't have to do the right thing. And I'd be like, no, I have to.
No, you have to because you have to live for yourself.
That's right.
You know, you may get away with it,
Right.
but you did something wrong and you know it, and you have to live with it.
Yeah.
And
That's good.
it's up to you. I mean, but it's been good.
Yeah.
I have a wonderful career. I traveled the world. I went to places that
You otherwise would have never gone.
will
yeah.
never gone. I mean, Argentina was fabulous.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Such a wonderful place. Yeah.
I have been in places where, wow, you know, I look back. A lot of times I just sit back and pass an inventory of my life, my journey. And I go, oh, wow, a girl from Cuba
Yeah.
come to the United States and live a life like that. Now, I work hard. Don't get
did.
me wrong, because I believe that as a woman, you have to prove yourself harder than a man. Okay? When I first started into the sales, I used to go to customer office and they asked me a million questions that they will never ask a man.
Because they don't think you know the answer. And
Exactly.
They're testing.
They were testing the water, and the best thing to do is to answer to the best of your knowledge. And when you don't know, you said, I really don't know, but I tell you what, if you allow me to write it down, I will give you an answer tomorrow.
And you always answer
And then
tomorrow.
you will answer him tomorrow. And so after you develop that trust, then everything becomes easy. Easy. You know, I used to go to, like you said, all the companies that NOB have now were all competitors. Continental Ensco, Idaho, they
Bo
all.
and MD Taco. Reed
Yeah,
Hiker.
but I'm talking about on the handling tools,
Oh,
on
yeah,
the,
all
on the
the
rotary
ones.
tables, on
Oh,
the
yeah,
master
yeah,
bushings.
yeah.
So they were all different, and they will all have a different thing, so one will not fit the other.
Yeah.
One had the lug inside, the other one had the lug outside. Dimensions-wise were the same. Components were the same. But the way that it fit into that rotary table is different, because that's what makes you a competitor.
Yeah.
So you have to know the difference between one and the other. One will fix and the other one will not. So you got to understand. And when we first moved, when NOV acquired all these
What were competitors?
companies, there was some problems in there because the new generation didn't know that a national and a continental Inco master bushing didn't fit each other,
Right.
but national oh well.
Yeah.
Okay, so somebody took an order for a national OL master bushing. There is no such a thing as a national OL. Is it a national or is it an OL?
Yeah.
Okay, and the wrong tool was sent to the rig. Because I took some of those calls where,
People got the wrong thing.
yeah, because they thought they were ordering a national, but they have an OL rotary tape. So the master bushing got there and it didn't fit.
Wow.
And
It was just new people not knowing.
not knowing, and
all that
that's why
history.
right now, I guess if you don't have a part number, it's hard for them to tell you what you need. Before they used to say, hey, the master bushing ring that goes in there, and they just describe the tool, and you have to know what it was.
The documentation wasn't that good back then anyway.
No. And in today's, in your parts, you have a number that will be 15516. That was a BJ part number. But then you have a V15516. That is a slip, Varco. And it's in your catalog right now. If you don't put that V and you send the other part, it's the wrong thing.
Big issue. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
It is great.
I mean, you understand it, but until you do these things and you're around the hardware,
yeah,
you don't really know.
If you want to go outside, you really should be trained on the inside first or on the shop.
Yeah. Shop is a great place to learn.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thanks for coming in, and that ends the interview. But we appreciate everything you've shared, and thanks for doing the show.
Thank you, David. It's my pleasure to be here.
We'll see you next time.